Now we are live. All right.
Now we're
What is
live.
going on, everybody? TriggerTalk just popped up on YouTube. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to... waiting for December 22nd. It is December 22nd. 7:07 p.m. I don't know why it's waiting, but I guess we're whatever. Is it showing it's live for you guys?
No, I'm on the channel right now. Nothing's live.
Oh, I'm seeing a bunch of people watching, but nothing's live.
It says it's live on mine.
Are you? Can you see us?
Well, yeah, I can see y'all, but it says live in the box.
Oh, I see it. I see it. All right, now we're live. All right, so this is Trigger Talk, and we are debating Jalen, who runs the Instagram account. I'm with Sunny Libertarian, and I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. And we are debating Jalen, who runs the account at Black Lives Matter Baltimore. So let's start off. Let's let you introduce yourself, kind of what you're about and what you believe and everything like that.
I'm Jalen Evans. I made Black Lives Matter Baltimore as a charter from the original Black Lives Matter. Our views are kind of different. We want to try to steer it to the community, and we're not so focused on the whole United States, but more of Maryland and Baltimore metropolitan area. We haven't really taken any action yet because we need funding, and we only have like 10 people in the group. So
I see.
Yeah.
All right, Sunny.
Hi.
Welcome back. Well, you haven't been on this channel before. You've been in my old channel. Why don't you talk a little bit about your page? What are you up to? What are your views?
I should post memes, but basically I'm an individualist who advocates for personal responsibility, and I do not advocate for Black Lives Matter. I think it's a group that is meant to demonize the other side as some sort of, and demonize police as some sort of moral deficient force when they're really just people looking to protect their communities.
All right, so let's start off the debate with the main question. And this is a question I want to present to Jalen. And then, Sonny, you can, ask questions or answer whatever you want. But my question is, in what ways do you see the African-American community being oppressed in this country?
Just as most teenagers and most adults, when it's probably, I'm giving an example, like it's night outside and you're walking to the corner store and a police officer is pulling you over, they most likely assume that they stereotype you. They assume that you're this and you're that. And when they stereotype you, then you turn out to be that person, even though you were no longer we're not like them at all. You turn out to be that person.
Okay, so couldn't that have a little bit more to do with the culture in that city rather than the skin color? I mean, if you look at things like crime rates and murder rates and stuff like that, I mean, that could have an impact on a police officer's decision to, judge somebody before they approach the vehicle or anything like that. I mean, you got to remember, this officer's walking up to this situation with no idea of who it is. He doesn't know what's in the car. He doesn't know, anything like that. If it's someone walking with a jacket, especially at nighttime, you use the example of nighttime. From far away, it's not always so easy to tell if they're black or not. So that could negate the whole targeting situation. But I don't know. I think that it might have a lot more to do with culture in the city rather than targeting. But
and I mean, as a general, I mean, as statistical fact, white people will get shot by the police more, and they're more likely to get shot by the police thanks to a new Harvard study that just came out by a black professor. He said it was the most surprising result of his life, but white people are actually more likely to be shot by the police than black people.
Yes, but that doesn't count if we're arrested or harassed by police. Like, something happened in Fort Worth today where a woman was, her son was choked, well, not choked, but put in a headlock by a neighbor, and because he dropped the paper. And this kid is like, I don't know, a third grade or something. He dropped the paper on the ground. He didn't pick it up. And the police officer, she called the police officer, and he said, why shouldn't he have to put him in the chokehold? What was the problem with it? And
so what happened? A cop put a 3-year-old in the chokehold?
No, no, the neighbor did.
So then how did the police get involved with that?
Yeah, with the police.
Yeah, like, are we talking about the police, or are we talking about individuals in that society?
Did the cop come and put the child in a chokehold, or did the neighbor do it?
Yeah, what is the issue here?
So what was the problem with the cops then?
Yeah. The cops said, what was the problem with the neighbor putting the child in a chokehold, even though that wasn't his child?
Maybe the cop is like an anarchist. Is like, hey, you know what? This is an individual,
I
settling some beef with another individual, and we should just let them do that.
So then it's right to put another person's child in a chokehold?
I mean, but like,
so I mean,
the cop didn't do it. I mean, but were
Yeah, I mean,
both
I don't.
people African American? I'm
Did the
just trying to
cop?
get where this. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sort of unaware. Did the cop just blatantly say, you know, it's okay, I'm not going to do anything. It's okay that he put him in a chokehold. Like, is that what happened? Like,
He technically said that, and then he arrested the.
he technically said that, or he said that? Because there's a big difference. I want to get the actual quote of what he said. Do you have the actual quote on hand of what he said?
He said what's wrong with it.
So the cop just showed up on scene.
My
and just
question
said,
is,
what is wrong with that?
Who was being oppressed? Like, was the neighbor African American too?
No, the neighbor was white, and lady.
But what happened before that? I mean, you said that you acted like they just walked outside. Hi, neighbor. Hey, like put him in a chokehold, and then it was just like, it had to have been something that happened before this escalation. I mean, what's the pre-story to this?
The boy comes home from school, drops a paper on the ground. The neighbor says pick it up, and the neighbor puts him in a chokehold.
I seriously doubt.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean if that happened. If that happened, that person would have to be such a violent person, and that would just reflect upon their sad life. You know what I mean?
And the police wouldn't show up and say, it's okay that he was put in chokehold. That's not what would happen at all.
Yeah.
Well, you can look it up. That's what I saw on IG and
Oh, on Instagram. So we're not even getting our news sources.
Oh no, it is on Instagram and it's on everything. All you gotta type in is Fort Worth. You don't even have to type in.
I mean, hey, to be honest though, Instagram's a more reliable news source than some of the other ones like MSNBC.
Yeah, true.
You know, yeah, I get my news. But okay, so the cop. So that's one example. So let's pretend like that was a thing. And the cop said that he came up and it's like because that person's white, it's fine to put people in chokeholds or whatever. Even though I don't know chokehold statistics. I'm sure that
I don't think they're kept by the FBI.
Yeah, they should. I'm gonna open that up. We need to start a whole new sect, chokehold statistics. But so you think because of that we need a whole organization called Black Lives Matter, which, I get, your core principles, like I've been on the website, Black Lives Matter, and what you guys stand for isn't necessarily bad. You want equality.
Reparations for slavery.
Well, that's a little bad. But the stuff like fixing, which we'll get into that later, but for the, equality, everything like that, I don't think that's bad. We should have equality. We should have everything like that. But
obviously,
how does that somehow justify burning down buildings, stomping on cars, and throwing rocks at horses?
We're not doing that.
The Baltimore riots. I was born in the city of Baltimore. I lived there for a couple years, and I live in the state of Maryland. And there was a state of emergency declared by Governor Larry Hogan during the Baltimore riots. There were buildings being broken into. There were stores being looted. There were police cars being lit on fire. There were civilians being hurt. And these people were doing it in the name of Black Lives Matter. So if you wanted to not. They were saying pig, and I think in Milwaukee they were saying pigs in a blanket crime like break-in. They had a big Black Lives Matter banners. They were walking on a freeway blocking the traffic. So this notion that Black Lives Matter is totally innocent and have their hands clean, it's totally preposterous and asinine.
Well, Baltimore, that wasn't Black Lives Matter. That was mostly high school students.
But they did it in the name of Black Lives Matter. So either you said at the beginning that you needed funding for your organization. Now, either they're just doing it in the name of Black Lives Matter, in which case it's not an actual organization. It's just a bunch of people. It's just like one person says, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," then a bunch of people go out, or it's an organization, in which case everybody that says they are doing it in the name of that organization is part of that organization. I mean, you can't be an organization and then have people that aren't involved doing stuff for that organization.
You can. Yes, you can.
So why didn't Black Lives Matter speak out against it then? That's my question. Why didn't Black Lives Matter come out? I don't even know who your authority figure is. I don't know. I don't know if you even have one. Probably
they don't. They're like a massless organization.
Yeah.
They're like the
why didn't they come out and say that's not right? They shouldn't be doing this. Why did they cheer for it?
I don't know. I'm not a really.
And I think the NAACP president, or one of the chapter presidents or something up in Seattle, Washington, called the Baltimore riots Baltimore uprisings. And an uprising against what exactly? An all-Democratic city council. 9 out of 16 city council members are black. A black mayor, the majority-minority police force, the black police chief. What are the uprising against exactly? What is it seeking to achieve?
The uprising is mostly against a broken system, like how they're spying on us. Mostly, that's how they catch us, for real. Like, you were born in Baltimore, so you know what happens on Sundays, I think. You know how everybody goes riding, right?
Yeah, that's in pretty much every city.
So they go riding, and they're not supposed to. Of course, they're not. But the people that go riding, they usually are mostly harassed by the police because they're riding out. They're not supposed to, even though they are. They're not hurting anybody. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. But
Yeah, but they're
riding.
breaking the city code. They're breaking city ordinance and then being fined according to
you
the
go
city
out and like
ordinance.
purposely do something against the law, and then they're like, "Why is this cop talking to me? All I did was break the law."
Yeah. All I did was break city ordinance,
Yeah.
and then
I just dumped my trash on the ground. I mean,
if we're talking about that law, that individual law, we could say, okay, that law shouldn't be there, or we say it should be there. We could argue if the law should or shouldn't be there, but the law affects everyone equally. If I went doing that, I would be pulled over by the cops and told not to do that and fined and ticketed. And if a black person did that, it would be the same exact thing. It wouldn't affect the skin color has no effect. We have equal protection under the law.
Well, let's take my city for example. I live in a city in Kansas that's very well off. The people here are very well off. There's African Americans here, but you hardly ever see. I haven't heard one complaint from anybody in this city ever complain, any African American in the city complain about cops harassing them. I've just never seen it. And I think, I think you're quick to say it's about race when I think it's more about the culture in that city. Like, there are just as many white people who do just as many bad things as bad. I mean, I think every race has their group of bad people. I mean, the Mexican drug cartel lords that, come across the border and rape people and sell drugs, I mean, they're not black, they're Hispanic. If you go down and look at, the KKK, who did some bad things a long time ago, they were primarily white. And then now you've got Black Lives Matter, who's primarily black, and they're doing violent things. I mean, I just think there's groups in each race that do bad things, and I don't think, I guarantee you, if someone was walking around with a white hood on and a white thing walking around, I guarantee you a cop would stop them just as quickly as they would stop an African American with a Black Lives Matter shirt and a Molotov cocktail in their hand.
And the fact of the matter is, the biggest signifier for crime is actually poverty. And there's a disproportionate poverty rate in the black community. And we could talk about the reasons why there's a disproportionate poverty rate in the black community. And it's not because of oppression.
It's because of liberal policies.
And also individual responsibility.
Trying to forcibly create oppression where there isn't. They're basically saying, because I really don't think, and I actually do want to ask you, Jalen, in what ways in your life do you feel oppressed? Like, as an individual, as an African-American individual, how do you feel oppressed on a day-to-day basis?
On a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are saying it's pretty bad, so I'm just asking, it's got to be.
If being pulled over by the police was a day-to-day basis, then I would get oppressed every day. But I'm not getting pulled over every day.
Have you ever been pulled over?
So every time you're pulled over by the police, you're oppressed, even if you were breaking. New Jersey in the 90s, there's a big hubbub. I don't know if anyone. It came up in the news recently, and basically they were saying that New Jersey police officers were discriminating against black drivers. And so instead of making an assumption that everyone drives the same, the New Jersey Attorney General and the Attorney General at the time, I can't remember who it was, commissioned a study, and they actually found out that black people were 25% of the people speeding and 23% of the people getting speeding tickets. So they're actually underrepresented in terms of the amount of speeding tickets they were getting. So this notion that whenever a black person gets in trouble, it's oppression instead of personal responsibility on that individual's part, it strikes me as a little bit obscene. And I think personal responsibility is one of the number one things that a group should advocate for, and the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't advocate for that. It advocates for some sort of oppression, like oppression Olympics almost. There's like, this person's oppressed, this person's more oppressed. And so we have this sort of like pyramid of oppression. And so we need to stop seeing each other as oppressed, because we're not. There's no oppression in the United States of America. And we need to start recognizing ways we could build ourselves up with personal responsibility and freedom rather than government assistance.
The police officers are supposed to do their job for number one.
They do their job.
Yeah, they do their job.
I mean, in fact, they do their job less. I mean, the biggest problem in black communities is under-policing, because the property crime rate is so high. No businesses invest there. If the police went in and lowered the property crime rates with effective policing methods, more businesses would invest and be more job opportunities for poor black Americans.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's you've got a double whammy, because you've got the crime rates that are insanely high, and then on top of that, you've got fucking taxes that are out the roof, regulation, everything like that in these liberal cities. I mean, look at Harlem, it was Harlem, I think, where they were losing everything. It's like Detroit now, and then they decided to lower taxes and stuff there, and businesses actually started coming back. They started changing things around and making it better. And when you have more businesses, more, I mean, think of a police officer. What's the, like, they won't even respond in Detroit to calls anymore because they just get shot at. I mean, people will literally call the cops pretending like there's something that's the matter. The cop will show up and get shot at. I mean, it's horrible.
70% of the murders go unsolved in Detroit as well.
I think police officers are actually being oppressed more than African Americans.
Yeah, I think a police officer is 17 times more likely to be killed by an African American than an African American is likely to be killed by a police officer. So
yeah, and you can't, and that's not a statistic where you could be like, well, there's more cops than police. I mean, there's less cops than African Americans, and so even with that being said, even with less cops than African Americans, they're still more likely to be killed by African Americans than African Americans are by cops.
In this time or in the time before? Because before, like,
just 2000. I think these are 2015 statistics. So I mean, you could take them with a grain of salt. Some things may have changed in 2016, but I'm highly doubtful the murder rate went, or the murder rate of African Americans increased 17.3 times in 1 year. I mean, it could have. You never know, but I'm doubtful.
Yeah. You know, it is 2016. Trump won, so who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
So I mean, what do you think?
Yeah.
I was saying in this year or the previous years, because in the previous years, things were.
Well, I mean, the murder rate in all crime has been dropping since 1984 or 1986. So, in terms of crime, everything's been dropping since 1986.
Yeah.
So then
and it's funny that there's all these shootings in cities where there's no guns. I just found that funny.
Yeah, I mean, gun control is a main contributor to gun violence, actually, if you look at statistics.
Yeah. What were you saying, Jalen? Sorry.
Lost my train of thought.
So
I was
about
just saying what I said before about the previous years thing.
Well, okay, well here let's look at this. I mean, so okay, but you never answered how you're being oppressed. Like, how do you feel like you're being oppressed? Like,
not you or the black community as a whole. Is there some sort of like evil conspiracy in capitalism to keep you oppressed or like keep you poor? Do you think that?
Oh, welfare.
You think you're being withheld responsibilities? You're being withheld opportunities because of the color of your skin. Do you think that?
Yes, actually.
Okay, so like, what opportunities? Elaborate. And I'm actually curious. Like, I'm not asking.
Yeah, I'm legitimately curious.
Yeah, I'm not asking from like I legitimately want to know.
So, it can come from getting a job. It can come from just being like, I mean, I can't explain it, but there's two people, right? One of them is black, one of them is white. One of them tries to get a job, but the black sound.
And then they get it because of affirmative action, even if they're less qualified.
The black sounding name won't really get the job because who would want to see that in that restaurant? Do you feel me? Like,
well, that was what you're saying is that you're assuming that people don't want to see black people in restaurants.
No, yeah, and also you're saying there's names that sound black, which is somewhat racist. Saying a name sounds black.
If I'm at a restaurant, I don't care if my waiter or waitress is African American or white. It's just my waitress. Like I'm not like, oh, that's the black waitress. That's the way. I mean, it's just my waitress.
The majority of waitresses that I have seen, the majority of them have been white, and they're not very good. I think the black waitresses tend to be better, actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, in terms of employment, the more qualified one always gets the job.
Mm-hmm. Especially now with affirmative action. I mean, where you have these programs that are actually harming the African American communities, if you think about it, because it's basically
Are African American communities or just the U.S. African American community?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about because there's pockets. Yeah, but there's pockets of like South side of Chicago, for example.
So I think what I'm trying to get at and what Dylan's trying to get at. What are you exactly seeking to achieve with your Black Lives Matter movement? What are you trying to stop? What are you trying to prevent from happening?
We're trying to graduate people. We're trying to move them into a better place. Because right now,
but like, what is preventing you? Like, you have a barrier, obviously, somewhere. That's what you're saying. So what would you do to topple that barrier? What is that barrier, and what are you doing to take it down?
Well, here we would seek more investigations, because right now I'm on a case where Alan Jones went missing by police and got beat up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he beat himself up. And
was he resisting arrest? Was he doing? Did he have a gun? Did he have a weapon? Did he? I mean, Cops don't just go beat up people. I mean, there's got to be a reason.
He was driving to his girlfriend's house, I think, and yeah, he was driving to somebody's house. The police pulled him over. The police don't know what happened next, and he don't know what happened next. We just know he ran over the police's foot.
Okay, well there you go. He tried to drive off with the cop standing there. I mean, if you run over my foot, I'm gonna whoop some ass. I'm sorry, but if you run over my foot, that's the end of it.
Yeah, if you run over someone's foot with a car, I mean, you have to be pretty damn close to run over someone's foot.
Yeah, I mean that would imply that the officer's standing there talking to him and he started driving. Now I don't know all the details, but I'm saying you have to be close to step on roll over.
A foot is like 8 to 12 inches on average.
Yeah,
and so he had to be like that close to a damn car. Come on.
Yeah,
and the police officer was wrong with that. Then he was too close to the car. Then
if you're leaning into a window talking to someone like this.
You've been driving.
He has to stand away. Hello.
I need to.
Hello.
Do you know why I pulled you over?
He was too close to the car.
Well, he has.
How close?
But you're not supposed to drive when a cop pulls you over.
Yeah. How close do you want a cop to stand to a car? How close? What is a good length? Like, do you want 2 arms lengths away? Like, what is a good length?
I don't know, but if the cop wasn't smart enough to move his foot, if you see a moving vehicle, because moving vehicle couldn't move.
A car can do 0 to 60 in like 8 seconds, so he could just step on the gas and easily run over someone's foot like that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect him, like, especially if he's just kind of rolling. You can't expect
And how are you supposed to talk to someone like through a window, like without leaning into the window or like leaning?
I mean, when you go to the drive-through, if they shut the window on your hand, is that because you were too close to the food when you were at McDonald's, or is it because
you're trying to hand them a driver's license or trying to hand you their burger, and they shut the window?
Yeah, no, they're chucking like food across like the parking lot because I can't get close because I don't want my hand to get caught in the mirror or the window.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you don't feel oppressed. So I've yet to hear one example where you feel oppressed or you feel that the black community as a whole is oppressed.
Well, if school segregation in northern areas is higher now, most likely. Well, no.
Well, school segregation is brought on because of white flight and because of government policies. If you would study the issue, you would know that.
I know, but it's still school segregation. So then you have.
I mean, like how?
It's brought on by government policy in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, governments cause segregation, especially now when it's like, oh, we need to just hand things to African Americans because. Oh, but let's get into. I actually do want to talk about because since we kind of, I guess, the debate on the entitled or not entitled, but the oppressed, because we couldn't have any arguments for that. But okay, so moving on to do you think that white people should pay slave reparations?
Hello?
Jalen?
I think he froze. I think he dropped out.
Did he leave?
Yeah, no, he didn't leave. He's just frozen.
Maybe he did leave.
Did he? I don't know.
I think he might have left.
Did we hurt his feelings?
I don't know. Did we just win this debate?
I mean, that was the easiest debate. That wasn't even a debate.
Dude, there's this dude in the chat right now, MaFreedoms, talking about. Yeah, he won't debate me though. I said he should come debate, but he won't do it. I think he did drop out. I mean, on the screen it says that it's just his screen's frozen.
I don't know. Maybe his internet stopped working or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's oppressive. He's oppressing us right now, dude. I just didn't get that argument of like if he's standing too close to the car.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to stand close to a car to hand things back and forth to each other. Like you're supposed to be throwing.
Yeah. Like license and registration, you gotta like hook it like in a paper airplane and like throw it across the thing.
Yeah.
God.
He just left.
Yeah, he did leave the thing. I think he was done.
Yeah. Was he done or did he leave like involuntarily? Let's message him. Hello?
Yeah.
Here, let's.
Yeah, just message him on.
Jalen?
I'll message him on Skype. I'll say what's up. We'll give him a chance to come back here.
Yeah, I want him to come back.
DM him on Instagram. Well, I'll DM him because it'll pop up. Hold on. Yeah. Maybe the slave reparations question was like bad. did you mean to leave? I mean, he requested
I mean,
the
it's
debate.
sort of sad when it's sort of sad when someone who thinks they're oppressed and who wants to fight their oppression can't name one thing that's oppressing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't.
I mean,
If
we'll
I was
give him like
oppressed,
a couple
I know what is
minutes.
oppressing me.
Why don't you guys ask some questions down in the comments or whatever while
Yeah,
we're waiting?
I'll answer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna call. His name is Sunny Libertarian. Do a Q&A for now. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're doing Q&A.
Yeah.
Let's see. See what people are asking here in the chat. We got a lot of viewers in here. 53. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you doing, Sunny?
I'm doing pretty good. Did you take the political compass quiz? Yeah.
We should.
I'm all the way to the right and 3 down.
Oh yeah. Does size matter? It depends on.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about penis size. I mean, I don't know. It depends how efficient, how effective you are with the size of your penis. Do I live in Kansas City? Because I do. Yes, I live in Kansas City. Do you fish?
White people owe me $22 trillion. Do you agree? Yes.
Huh? What did you say?
Somebody said white people owe me $22 trillion. Do you agree?
Oh yeah. Dude, that's such an arbitrary, like, how do you decide how much you owe from slave reparations? Like, you'd have to literally go find each individual slave, decide how much.
We have to figure out a complex math equation to calculate the amount of labor stolen and the labor values at whatever the labor rates were for farming in the 1800s, and I don't know how we do that.
Yeah, but then you'd have the communists coming in and talking about the LTV, like no, they get to decide, they're dead. So we'd be trying to fucking like get them like raised from the dead so they can tell how much they're worth. Be horrible.
Yeah, we'd be doing voodoo magic.
Yeah. Bro, I live by the plaza. Oh, nice. I was at the plaza actually yesterday. That's pretty cool. You should DM me on Instagram. I wonder how close you live to me. Do I watch Arrow? Yes, I watch Arrow. It's a good show. What news outlets?
Is your mom gay?
My mom's not gay.
No, neither is mine.
Yeah. I wanted to ask him about this All Lives Matter thing. Dang it.
I wanted to just I didn't really get a good understanding of what his point was. Like what is he seeking to achieve? Like I asked him that, and he didn't really know what to respond.
Dude, that was not even like fair.
It wasn't.
Yeah, we won that like big league.
Yeah. Do you all hate white people as much as me? Yes.
Yeah, I hate white people so much. They're horrible people. What is the most liberal argument?
Guy, he disappeared.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could just end this because, I mean, people are gonna be joining like, what the hell's going on? All right. Well, anyway, this was the debate with the Black Lives Matter supporter, but he left because I guess he took the L. But anyway, yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. Shorter debate this time because I mean, can't really. I had a feeling he was gonna leave, but anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.